Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Odom. I'm going to show you how to do your character design project. The first step is the original character sketch. You should have your Google image, your uncolored sketch, and your colored sketch. And this is step one. Step two, you have your crossover character sketch. You have your sketch from the step one, your Google image of the character you want to cross over. You just type it in Google, you copy, and then you paste it in. Pardon the brightness of my screen. But what I did is I made a small image and I traced it 5 times and I did my different ideas. Those are called thumbnails. And you notice I did not color it, but I did write in the colors. And then I took a picture. I put it in the image, in the slide. So you should have your sketch from step 1, your Google image, and your thumbnails in this step 2. Step 3, which is the final character design, you will take your original Among Us character that you drew and insert it into the slide. Then you're going to take your character that you found on Google from your crossover, copy that, and insert it into the slide. Exactly how you see it here. Then you're going to take your thumbnails or the final sketch from step 2, and you're going to copy and paste it in the slide as you see me do it here. Okay, some of you have colored it, some of you have not. All right, so for the final, you're going to draw it again, but make sure it's nice and neat. That's the thumbnail that I chose. So I'm going to trace my original Among Us character, and that's what I want everyone to do. Even if you have colored your sketch from step 2, I would like you to do this for step 3. Okay, make sure it's nice and large and fills the page, and you're going to outline the sketch. Do not color it yet because you are going to take a picture of your uncolored sketch as always. Okay, I marked my value lines where I'm going to shade it. Now I'm going to look at my crossover character and I'm going to transfer it over to my Among Us character, making sure my lines are nice and neat and that my characteristics make sense. Because this is my final project. I made my outline. If your character has glasses or a goggle like a minion, this is how you do that for one who has glasses. Okay, I made my picture larger so I can make sure I get my details correct. And I made adjustments where I needed to make them. Okay. So this is the part of the project that I really want you all to take your time and not rush. At the same time, please don't start over. That's why you're doing this in pencil first, because you're making adjustments as you go. Okay, you have 2 class periods to finish this portion, this step. Now I'm doing her shirt and her skirt, and I'm erasing the lines that I do not need. Those are her socks, making sure my lines are nice and even and straight and neat. Those are her shoes. And there you have it. All right. At this point, you can take a picture of the pencil sketch or take a picture of the marker outlined, but this one should not be colored. So always take a picture of your uncolored sketch first. So I have in my uncolored sketch. And now I'm going to outline it with a black marker, making sure my lines are neat and bold. Notice that I kept the shape of the Among Us character. The shape of the Among Us character should not change. Okay, so the accessories and the hair and the clothing, they can change, but the shape of the Among Us character should not change. So I'm erasing my pencil lines. What you saw me do was fan the marker so it won't smudge while I am erasing it. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I am making a trace of this because I'm going to color it. So I'm making a trace in case I want to do a digital version. You can also just make a copy in the printer, but for me, it's faster to just trace it. Okay, and there it is. All right, so now I'm going to start coloring. I decided to color my Among Us character the same colors as my crossover character. So instead of using the red skin tone, I'm using the peach skin tone of my character. So I'm placing something under my paper so it doesn't bleed onto the table. And what I ended up doing was putting another sheet of paper underneath that paper. So you notice that I'm using gray. So I'm using gray because that's my undertone. My darkest color I will put on top of that. I decided I wasn't going to make a black backpack. I was going to do a red black backpack because my original character is red. So I made the backpack red, or the jet pack, or the air oxygen pack. Okay. So I made the black sections a dark gray because I'm going to go back over it with a darker gray and a black. And I'm doing all my base colors or my light tones. Okay, so I start with my mid-tones or my highlight tones, and then I work darker from there. So I worked around my highlight in the glasses or the goggle. Okay, and then her skirt is a darker blue, making sure that my marker lines are nice and even. All right. So I went in and now I'm doing my darker tones, my shading. I am now changing my shape to a form. If you remember, we have covered this. So Another way to change a shape to a form is to give it value. So I have highlights, midtones, and dark tones. Okay, I did work in her shoes. Okay, so now I'm doing the shading. And I did not color the black goggles completely black. I did a hatching, which is our diagonal lines that are close together so it wouldn't be super black. Then I took a colored pencil and I went over the gray because I didn't want it to be black and I didn't have a dark gray, so I decided to use a colored pencil instead. So you have to use what you have. Okay. If you are using colored pencil for the entire project, you can change the pressure that you are applying to create your value tones. Okay. So I'm going over my lines in colored pencil. Right. So now I'm going to be working on the value, the shading. So I used a gray. And notice that I didn't do the original shading. I just did the back. And what you see me doing right here, I am cleaning my brush tip because when I go over the colors go into my marker. So the way you can clean your brush tip is to get a scrap piece of paper and just color the paper until your original color comes back up. Okay, that's what you see me doing. So I'm creating my values, adding in a light gray. And what you see me doing here is go over the colored pencil with a gray marker. And what it does is blend my colored pencil. Okay. So I'm taking a brown to make the value in the air pack darker. And I'm taking my pencil and I'm making some hash marks to make it darker. And then there's my finished image. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to insert it into my slide. Okay. And what I will do now is insert it into my slide, make a copy of that image, put it into Sketchpad 5.1, erase the outer edge of my picture, and then put it in front of a background. Okay, you do not have to use Sketchpad 5.1 to do this step. You can use any digital program you may have. So that's what you see me do here. So I'm opening Sketchpad 5.1. I'm going to save my character on a new slide, and I'm going to download it as a PNG file. Insert it, and I'm going to crop it. I'm going to crop my character out. Okay, and then I'm going to save that new character and erase around her. So I chose the erase tool. Save as a JPEG, save as a PNG file. Insert image, and then you insert it into a digital background. You may also color your own background or create your own background. You have 2 class periods to do so. If you don't have enough time, please use a background that already exists. So use your time wisely, right? So this will be my final here. So I have my Among Us character, I have my Google image, and I have my sketch, and then I have the final with the background. Okay. I'm about to do another example of a background so you'll see it in another version, but you don't have to do more than one background. I'm just showing you an example of using another type of background. So I'm going to take one that's in portrait mode. I am going to arrange and reorganize my picture to be facing the other direction by clicking Arrange, Flip Horizontal, and there you have it.